Welcome back, fight fans. The UFC has come to an end in 2025. We put together a list of our accolades. We're going to go over the top 5 of each category, and then we're going to decide on the spot who is the blank of the year. Starting off with knockout of the year. You want to give me your top 5 first?
My top 5, in no particular order, was Quillen Salkalid versus Nasrat Haqparast via head kick, Huffy versus Green via spinning heel kick, Topuria versus Oliveira via 1-3-2, Prates versus Edwards via straight left, and Leron Murphy versus Aaron Pico via spinning back elbow, with an honorable mention going to Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama via Rampage Slam.
The Rampage Slam was sick.
I know.
That was a really good one. That was a great list. That list actually blows my list out of the water. There's some of there on there where I was like, oh, you know what? That one does deserve to be on there over mine. There's maybe mine. I'm a little more biased. I have both of Carlos Prates, one over Jeff Neal and one over Leon. I think the Jeff Neal one's actually more sick.
I get that.
Personally, the spinning elbow, flatline KO compared to the drop you with the straight. The way that Leon looked afterwards was crazy, though.
He took him off his feet with that straight.
It did. No, it was insane.
Crazy.
It was insane. His head didn't even hit the canvas, but it still snapped back all the way. It was one of the most insane knockouts we've seen. The two of them, really. I also have Aaron Pico getting lit the fuck up with that spinning elbow by Leron Murphy. That was the first one that came to mind. One of my personal favorites that maybe isn't on everybody else's list. I just love how it transpired. But Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby.
Oh my God!
The way the way that transpired and the way that he ended up dropping him with that crazy hook, and no one has dropped Nicholas Dalby like that. But you could say that for a few guys on this list. And finally, I agree with you. Bobby King getting slept by Mauricio Ruffy like he did was absolutely poetic.
Beautiful.
We love King Green too, so hate to see it. But if you're gonna go out, do it for the boys.
That was the cleanest one, like, by far. Just the way that he was setting him up for it, backed him up against the cage and just landed it. No follow-up shot necessary.
I think that always adds to the of the year, the walk-off.
Oh, it's so nice. So for me, that was probably going to be my number one, but I loved all of those. I mean, the Prates versus Edwards, the straight left was crazy, and then Edwards smiling up at you at the end.
that was sad.
I know it was sad, but it needed to happen after Prates gave you that meme of the year.
Well, speaking of needed to happen, I mean, you coming into the UFC from Bellator with all this cockiness, you might just end up season out on the floor. I think Aaron Pico being out cold as long as he was and reacting the way that he did is why I have Leon Murphy higher than personally both Prates. So I think the question I have for you is, which is better, the spinning head kick by Mauricio Ruffy or Leon Murphy spinning elbow?
I'm taking Huffy.
I'm also taking Huffy.
I'm taking Huffy.
I think we agree.
100%.
The 2025 knockout of the year goes to Mauricio Huffy.
You goddamn right.
Spinning head kick over Bobby King Green. Out cold.
Fighting Nerds got one in the books already.
That was beautiful.
Let's move on to submission of the year.
Otherwise known as the Soy Boy. Submission of year. SOY. Soy.
Yeah. You take it away this time. You give me your 5.
Gabriel Bonfim putting Chaos Williams to sleep early in the year. Sean Brady dismantling Leon Edwards the way he did and putting him out the way he did. Where are we? Merab putting out Sugar just because of the level and the hype of that one, the danger that Merab was in, and the transition itself. It was beautiful to see.
It was very beautiful.
And Sugar's underrated on the ground, I would say. Kevin Holland taking out Vicente Luque.
Yes.
That was a great
good one.
Caught him trying to stand up. And then Gene Silva putting Bryce Mitchell to sleep, of all people.
You goddamn right. I know.
So the striker putting... Exactly. That's why I have it on this list.
So I also have Gene Silva versus Bryce Mitchell via Ninja Choke. Yep.
How about that?
And then Merab versus Sugar via North-South Choke. So I have those were the 2 we agreed on. Now the 3, I'm going to cheat with one of them.
That's okay.
And I'm going to say Walter Walker via heel hook.
Oh, that's a great one.
Fucking pick your poison. I don't care which one you choose. He has 3 of them, and they were all great. And then I got Bahamondes versus Jalen Turner via triangle choke.
Okay,
That was Turner's first time ever being submitted.
Retired him.
I know. That's kind of the reason I had it. And then I had Pantoja versus Kai Kara France via RNC. So,
that's a great list.
Yeah, high level fight in that one. I mean, 2 championship submissions. But I can't get out of my head how Gene Silva submitted one of the better grapplers in the UFC as a striker himself.
Exactly. That's really what I had a hard time dealing with when it came to of the year. Thinking of, is anything really better than that? I mean, like you said, styles make fights, and Bryce is one of the best. Has only lost to champions.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or title contenders at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, that was one. You had one on there that I'm the Walter Walker. That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I mean, submissionist of the year. Maybe he should just win it, and he should just. That's what we should decide on instead of submission.
Walter Walker.
Yeah. Congratulations to the submissionist of the year, Walter Walker, for the coolest heel hook compilation we've ever seen. And if I had to say submission of the year, I think Gene Silva over Bryce Mitchell.
Back-to-back fighting nerds. How about that?
There we go. Oh yeah.
We're not biased.
We're not done.
Let's move on to Rookie of the Year. So we had a little stipulation with our Rookie of the Year. Number one, they could only have one fight from the previous year. And then, that was our stipulation.
Right. So basically, if you're coming off of Season 8 of the Contender Series and you fought before the year ended, this is still considered your rookie year in our eyes.
Mm-hmm. And would you like to take it away, or you want me to go first?
I think that we might have some of the same names on here. So I'll go first. You mentioned one of those guys earlier, but Elijah Smith absolutely killed a man this year. So he only fought twice, both wins, but to me, knockout of the year contender. So
honorable mention for sure.
So of the other names, I honestly wanted to put somebody in here who probably belongs on next year's rookie list. Dante Johnson.
Oh, okay.
He's the dude who fought at heavyweight on the Contender Series.
Yeah.
Came in just looking like a bulk of a man and put Cedric Dumas to sleep in the second round.
Yeah,
but anywho's, Kevin Vallejos.
Yes.
Come on, dude. Kevin Vallejos. Coming off of a top 15 knockout win, spinning back fist, and then immediately to the ground and pound, vicious elbows. Kevin Vallejos is here to stay. 24 years old, 3-0 in 2025, and only loss coming to Gene Silva. So really looking forward to seeing what Kevin Vallejos has in store in 2026. Our guy, Mansur Abdul Malik.
Oh, hell yeah.
Basically had 4 KOs this year.
Great call, actually.
Or 4 KOs since his Contender Series fight in Season 8. So he's one of the guys who technically has an asterisk in this one. But the Cody Brundage fight, it got overturned to a draw. I say bullshit if that was a fight. If that was a real fight in the streets, Mansur Abdul Malik wins. Nonetheless, kid's still undefeated in the UFC and looking great. Somebody in his same weight class who I think is getting the same kind of treatment as far as matchups, Atiba Goudier.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
I may have said his name wrong, but 3 first-round knockouts to start his UFC career, and they have him already booked for, I believe, UFC 324 on the Paramount opener. Oh, I believe so. Yeah, probably, I forgot to double-check. But so they love this kid. They're pushing him hard. And I would hope that they actually stay away from each other since they're both in the same division.
Yes.
Both similar styles.
Get into the rankings first.
Exactly. And that could be a real banger one year. How about David Martinez in the Bantamweight division?
Great call.
David Martinez coming off a Contender Series win last year. Made his debut in Mexico. Got a knockout in the first round. And then picked up a short notice fight week of against Rob Font. And gets a win in the rankings. You make the rankings in your rookie year. You make our list. And then that is my top 5.
David Martinez should have been on mine, and I'm upset that I didn't think about him. But I did have Atiba Gautier. I had Killen Salkilid, who was the KO finalist.
That's the Australian.
That is the Australian. 3-0 this year, 2 first-round KOs and a decision, 25 years old. Navajo Sterling, the light heavyweight, who went 3-0 with 3 decisions this year. So not the most flashy, but just dominant.
Yeah. And light heavyweight needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. Kevin Vallejos, who you mentioned as well, 24 years old, 2 KOs, 1 decision this year. And then just, KOing Giga like he did.
Yeah, that
my
was
God.
Sick. That was sick.
And then my number 5, my honorable mention, I should say, was Alexandre Topuria.
Yeah, sure.
2-0. He faced some tough competition in those 2 fights, so I wanted to give him a shout-out. But my number 5 was Baisangor Susakayev.
I thought about Baisangor.
Yeah. 2-0, 1 sub, 1 KO, 24 years old. There were
short notice pickup fights too. We love that.
I think it comes down to somebody who wasn't even on my list and Kevin Vallejos, David Martinez and Kevin Vallejos.
Yeah, I agree. But since Kevin Vallejos has that extra win, I think that the decision is clear.
Kevin Vallejos, you are the UFC's 2025 Rookie of the Year. Let's move on to our Fight of the Year.
Oh, this will be a fun one. You go ahead and go first.
My top 5, starting with UFC Noche, Lopez versus Silva.
Amazing.
Then we got Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Joshua Van in UFC 317.
Of course.
Iwo versus Ibo. Iwo Barniecki versus Ibo Aslan in UFC 323.
Absolutely.
Just happened. The fireworks banger. Yuri Prohaska versus Khalil Roundtree in UFC 320, and then Yuri Prohaska versus Jamal Hill, UFC 311.
I also have Yuri on here twice, which is awesome.
He is the fighter of the year, just always.
And also one of the most anticipated fighters of the year, right? Like anytime he's on the card, you're like, yes, that's the one I'm excited for. And it's not the main event. Neither of them have been the main event this year.
Doesn't matter.
Both the times he's fought, he's been ranked number 2. He fought Jamal Hill, ranked 3, and then he fought Khalil Roundtree, ranked 4. And neither times was he winning going into the third.
No, but that's Yuri Prohaska in the third round is a mythical fighter. He really is. I don't know.
That's why Alex keeps winning, because he doesn't get there.
Make it to the third, yeah. I thought about that earlier, too. I love Yuri so much, but you tell me your list. What do you got?
Well, I also have Joshua Van and Royval, so those are the 3 that we have in common. I also have Iwo versus Ibo.
Okay,
so those are the 4 that we have in common. I then have a toss-up between one that you do not have on there.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like neither of them actually are worthy of the year. Bilal versus JDM and Max versus Dustin 3.
Okay.
Max versus Dustin 3 was fun. Maybe I'm a little biased because I love them both so much.
Yes, absolutely.
I think if Dustin doesn't retire in the last 10 seconds and actually scraps, it could be
throws down
the number 1, right? If it actually ended like in 300 fashion. But there were some times where like Dustin dropped him at the end of the second. And you're like, holy shit! Like
he still got it.
He might just do it. He could do it at any time. Bilal JDM, it was just so much fun having them go back and forth the way they did. The stakes were on the line. I really think it came down to the last minute of the fight, and I think with the belt on the line, for that reason, 5-round banger deserves fight of the year contention for me. But all that being said, 3-round madness. Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. I don't know which of these could top that.
I don't think anyone could. I mean, that fight also came down to the last 10 seconds.
It really did.
Like, so Joshua Van won the first, Royval came back in the second, and then that third was so close up until you hear the clapper.
It was really when Joshua Van started knee stomping towards the end.
Yes.
That really changed everything because it was effective for one, and then right when Royval needed to be able to swing for the fences, he couldn't.
He does this great thing as well when he's going for the oblique kick. If he misses, he falls forward instead of, losing his balance or staggering backwards. He comes forward with a right overhand, and it was landing a lot in that fight. I love that one.
It was amazing. That's one that you send your friends if you're like, this is one to get into the UFC.
Exactly. And then you also send them Iwo versus Ibo because you're like, you want to see the craziest.
This is why we watch prelims.
But yeah, I mean, Royval versus Van, that would be my pick. Just all the stakes were on the line. Number 1 contender on the line. I loved your JDM versus Bilal pick too, though.
Not as fun.
Royval versus Van, that was our 2025 fight of the year. And we move on to the MVP, a.k.a. fighter of the year. You take it away.
Well, if you make it onto the fight of the year twice, then you by default are up for fighter of the year. So Yuri Prohaska was the first name to come to mind.
That's great.
Joshua Van, winner of fight of the year, winner of his championship belt, and 4-fight winner in 2025. Hard to argue having a better year than that.
Yeah.
Melquizael Costa.
Yeah, the milkman.
The Dalmatian.
That is his nickname.
Yeah, it is.
That is his nickname.
The dude's a stud. He's only lost to Steve Garcia, and who hasn't? That's run into Steve Garcia.
True.
So Steve Garcia is one of those guys who we should be hearing competing for a belt this time next year. So yeah, he belongs on here. 4 wins, a sub, and a knockout. A great knockout too against a really tough opponent. So speaking of knockouts, Waldor Cortez Acosta,
yes,
of course belongs on this list. 5 fights, 4 wins, only loss coming against one of the best heavyweights in the world, and he went toe-to-toe for 3 rounds. And then for me, Piotr Jan, if you take out one of the GOATs, you are arguably fighter of the year. Everyone was saying Merab is the GOAT. and Piotr Jan whooped his ass.
that ass.
And he also whooped Marcus McGee's ass for what it's worth. So he gets 2 wins. One of them was for the belt, and it was against one of the GOATs. He makes my list.
I'm going to start with my honorable mention in Nasruddin Imavov, KOing Izzy earlier in the year, and then getting a pretty dominant win against one of the Fighting Nerds.
That is a great honorable mention.
That was my honorable mention. I will go in order. I have Merab at number 5, 3-1, 4 title defenses, 1 submission, 2 decision victories. As much as we do not like him and as much as we've shit on him, he's definitely up there. Nobody else was fighting 4 times as a champion this year.
And he didn't have to do that.
He did not at all. He could have just coasted into 2026 as the champion, but he wanted to be active. So shout out to Merab. Then number 4, I have Waldo Cortez Acosta, 4-1, 3 KOs, 1 decision. Only loss coming to Pavlovich, like you mentioned, in a banger. He was taking some shots in that fight. Number 3, Benoit Saint Denis, 3-0, 2 subs, 1 KO. One of them was a can. The other 2 were not. Benoit Saint Denis deserves to be on this list, KOing Dariush.
That's a great call. No, he absolutely does deserve to be on that list. That's one that I slipped by.
I love it. Walter Walker, number 2. 3-0, 3 heel hooks in the first round. I know the level of competition wasn't there, but hilarious nonetheless. And then my number 1 was Joshua Van. 3-0, 2 KOs, fight of the year. Say what you will about the Pantoja fight, kid's a champion.
He sure is. Yep. Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, the fight of the year, the one fight that went to decision, 2 KOs. I love it. I also love your Yuri Prohaska pick. Remind me, so you had the Milkman, who was 4-0. That was great. Piotr Jan, who was 2-0.
And then Cortez Acosta. So is Joshua Van our fighter of the year? He's the highest on both of our lists. You didn't even have Yuri as honorable mention.
I didn't.
You have Merab on there over him. The whole point of us doing this was to be like, this is our choice, right? So when we say fighter of the year, we mean guys that actually go in there and fight. Those were your words. And now you're over here with Merab's name on your list.
I get it.
So by default.
4 title fights.
By default.
Joshua Van is our fighter of the year.
Well deserved, Joshua Van. Congratulations.
Right. You goddamn right. Joshua Van deserves so much praise, and I cannot wait to see what he does with the flyweight title.
He's going to defend it against Manel Kopp in Houston. I'm real curious what the UFC is going to do with these dates and numbers. You know, like they don't have numbered events that they have to rely on anymore necessarily, right? But it's still probably going to be one of those things where it's once a month, there's a numbered event. You know, we've already seen that it's gone from the 24th of January to the 31st of January, 324, 325, and then 326 is going to be Max Holloway.
Okay.
So there's not going to be one in February.
No.
However, they're going to Houston in February.
And that's when you want to put Joshua Van?
That's when Joshua Van wants to defend in where he lives in Houston.
Oh, then that's perfect for him.
That's what he's saying. And so Manel Kopp got on the mic after he knocked out Brandon Royval, and he said, hey, boy, you only got the title fight because I got hurt. If I didn't get hurt, I would have just whooped Royval's ass. I didn't have to take him to the fight of the year. Took me one round, and I whooped his ass, put him out, and
nobody
maybe it was,
puts Brandon Royval out like that.
Yeah, early stoppage, questionable. I think it was fair. I saw the way his head jerked back on against the cage. So, and like I said, we can rematch those guys anytime, and we'd all be for it. I just peeked at your thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Joshua Van versus Manel Kopp is way cooler than Joshua Van versus Tyro. You can have Tyro sit on the bench. He don't have to do shit, and he can just be next.
That was going to be my question for you. You would rather have Kopp than Tyro?
100%.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Striker's Paradise.
Yeah, Striker's Paradise.
Oh, my God, that would be a banger.
Let Tatsuro just have you got next, bro. You got next. You're 25 years old. Take a little time.
I mean, but if Kopp wins and then Pantoja's on the sideline, like when is Pantoja going to come back?
That's a good question.
The flyweight division is opened up. I say we keep it spicy while we can.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not hold it off. Let's not delay. Let's not wait for Pantoja.
And who knows what Pantoja is going to look like after that injury.
Yeah.
He might never be the same again, which is very unfortunate to say, but that's the game that we play.
Yeah, also just a mental battle, right? I mean, like, think about, he was on top of the world. Mm-hmm. He probably thought he had an easy win on his hands and was going to be like, okay, well, now I don't know who's next. They, flirting with going up. Now it's rehab and you're older and, you get your kids running around and stuff and, now you got money. Mm-hmm. It's harder to get punched in the face when you're getting out of silk sheets.
That's very true. And I like what you mentioned. Maybe bantamweight is in his future.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, cutting weight sucks, but he was perfect there. And now that Merab's not the champ, I think that was one thing that he was saying he didn't want to do.
Exactly.
Like, Merab didn't want to go fight Volk,
If you wanted to fight O'Malley, why wouldn't you want to fight Jan?
Exactly. Well, I think that they've had a little bit of beef in the past.
O'Malley and Pantoja?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in the past, Pantoja's like they trained in the same areas. I think Pantoja was under Cejudo at the time, but while Sugar was still at the MMA lab for the most part, they did a little cross training. But regardless, yeah, I think Manel Kape versus Joshua Van is the fight to make, and I say put it in Houston. I say prove a point that you don't need to have a number to put a belt on. I bring that point up too because in March they're booked to go to London. It's not a numbered event; it's just a fight night. So you got Tom Aspinall, who we're waiting to have this heavyweight bout, and is it going to be another year where we only get one heavyweight championship fight if we're lucky?
I hope not, man, because heavyweights ain't cutting weight, bro. You should be fighting at least 3 times a year. Give us some bangers. The heavyweight division is so dead.
Well, it's been stalled long enough because of John Jones, and now the whole Aspinall eye poke situation has just fucked everything. So it's a mess, and it needs to get fixed ASAP. We need Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gahn in my life ASAP. I don't know. Yeah, the heavyweight division needs to be moving. We got some kids that are cooking right now. Did you see this guy last week? Steve Aspland, is that his name?
Yes, dude.
With the record-breaking strikes that he threw.
It was ridiculous.
And this dude's got heart. He came from being way morbidly obese to being able to be a heavyweight. So you know that he's got nothing to lose.
I think he cut 120 pounds to make the heavyweight limit.
Let's go.
Like something like that.
Savage. You can't stop me.
Yeah. I mean, him and then Guilherme Pat from Brazil, another fun heavyweight on the rise. That's something to look forward to.
Oh, he was on that card too, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, also then not fun to watch, but fun to listen to on the mic. That one guy who's a copycat of Chael Sonnen.
Oh yeah,
he's
I forget
set
his
to
name.
debut. He's right now listed as the first fight on 324 as the early prelim opener.
He's gonna win and he's gonna get on the mic and annoy me, but. You know what? If it sells, it sells. You make your money however.
That's why they're putting him on
bro.
there. They're putting him on there to be like, hey, new people who are watching UFC for the first time.
This is my shit.
This is what we're about to bring you.
Before we wrap it up, I did have 3 extra awards that I don't think you would argue with, but I wanted to get your quick input. So, Commentator of the Year, Laura Sanko.
100%.
Performance of the Year, Piotr Jan versus Merab, 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interview,
I would say so. Whoop the ass. Whoop that ass of the
in a
GOAT.
rematch.
To prove that, yeah, I didn't have an arm last time. Told you.
Told you, motherfuckers. And Interview of the Year, Derek Lewis, who wants his wife next for some grounded and pounding.
Yeah. 3 for 3. 3 for 3. You nailed it.
The only other argument would be Walter Walker, who wants the chocolate Peppa Pig.
Nah, this one tops that.
Yeah, Derek Lewis. Yeah, any closing thoughts, final arguments?
No, this has been great.
Yeah,
Feel free to leave your comments. Let us know who your fight of the year was, what your fight of the year was, what your knockout of the year was. If you have a soy opinion, keep it to yourself. Follow us for more. Comment, subscribe. We'll keep the UFC content pumping out each week until 324, and then it is full steam ahead.
Deuces.